Hey, what's going on, hamsters? Welcome back to Modern Warfare, and in this video we're going to be going through my settings and class setups that I like to use. Also, if you want to know about my equipment like keyboard, mouse, PC specs, all of that will be in the description, so go ahead and read that below if you want to, and let's get right into the settings. We're going to go over to keyboard and mouse tab. Now, for these settings to work, you gotta buy a hamster. Yeah, just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, mouse sensitivity, I use 2.88 with 1600 dpi. Not a fast sensitivity at all. People think I use a fast one, but in reality, it's quite a slow sense for COD. So, you know, I just move my arm fast, I guess. You know, I'm good with my hands. Wink, wink. For aimed on sight sensitivity, I use relative at 1.00 multipliers for everything, and instant transition timing doesn't really matter though. Instant, gradual, there's basically no difference between these according to some tests. Monitor distance coefficient 1.78. I recommend either 0, 1.33, can't even get it right, 1.33 or 1.78. Either three work fine. This basically slows down your ADS sensitivity. So I use 1.78 because it feels the best for me. Whichever one works for you, use that. And invert mouse look, obviously disabled. Disable all of this. This is terrible for your mouse. It just adds unnecessary stuff. Movement, keybinds, slide behavior, tap. I'm not gonna explain this. I'm just gonna run through all this stuff quickly. No point explaining. Yes, I use E to reload because I'm weird. Crouch, V. I have a long thumb, so I use V instead of C. Yeah, pretty much it for this. Weapons and equipment. Yeah, I'm not gonna explain all this stuff. Yeah, there you go. E for reload. I'm a weirdo. Switch weapon, I use mouse 5, which is a side button. Interesting enough, I use R for a lethal like grenade, and T for tactical equipment like stun grenades. That's about it for this. Kill streak and vehicles. Just gonna run through it, no point explaining this stuff. And there you go. For general, I use 120 FOV, that's the max. I recommend either, okay, from 90 to 120. If you go below 90, you are a bit at a disadvantage because you cannot see anything around you. ADS is at affected. If you use independent, your aimbot sight is going to zoom into the screen. It's good for Warzone, but I don't recommend it for multiplayer. I use affected. Brightness 55, depends on your monitor as well. And that's pretty much everything that I gotta explain for this tab. Graphics, now this is interesting. We're getting into the big stuff here. Screen refresh rate 144, because I have 144 FPS. Good console peasants. Just kidding, don't dislike the video. 100 render resolution at 2K, because I'm a big boy, I use a 2K monitor. Custom frame rate limit unlimited, because we don't want to limit our frame rate. NVIDIA reflex low latency, this basically makes your input lag lower, so I use it on enabled plus boost. And then in terms of the settings, I have a 3090 with a pretty crappy CPU. The CPU is bottlenecking my 3090, so I'm not getting really high frame rates. However, I can get my settings pretty high anyway because of this bottleneck, so I use either normal or high for all of these. So normal resolution, high particle quality, I use normal for particle lighting because I like some good lighting. Screen space reflection is on low only because if you use high, there seems to be more, what is it called, film grain. So I use low. And then NVIDIA DLSS. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, I recommend turning this on performance or balanced. If you don't have a good graphics card that can run this game at a high frame rate. But I do, so I have it disabled because it makes the game a little bit more blurry. But if you need it, turn it on, better frame rate. Anti-aliasing, SMAA, blah, 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 times 1. Times 2 seems to have more film grain and I don't like that. And then Filmic makes the game blurry, so I use 1. And then disable all of this stuff. Please disable motion blur, it's terrible for visibility. Film grain as well, disable it. You must disable all of this stuff, it's horrible. Dynamic resolution is on. Basically what this does is it will lower your resolution dynamically to keep your frame rate stable. So this is pretty helpful. And audio. No, we don't want to save anything. Audio. I use boost high for audio mix. Boost low apparently makes your footsteps sound louder. However, the rest of the audio, like gunshots, sound muffled. So I don't use boost low, I use boost high. Try boost low, see if you like it. If you don't, boost high is the way. I like the crisp audio on that one. Music is off because I don't like when music starts playing at the end of the game and I can't hear anything. Master volume, yeah, everything is on default pretty much. Hitmarker sounds, this is cool stuff actually. Most people don't know this. You can use either classic or Modern Warfare hitmarkers. Modern Warfare hitmarkers are have a deeper tone. I use classic because I like classic hitmarker sound. It's pretty much a meme. And that's pretty much it for this controller. Nah, we're not using a controller. We're not using a controller. That's pretty much it for the settings. Now we're gonna get into some class setups. So let's go to the Gunsmith. Alright, here we are in the Gunsmith. Before we get into individual weapons, I want to talk about the equipment and perks. So for the perks, I use the same perks on each class basically. Quick Fix, Ghost, and Amped. Quick Fix will regenerate your health the moment you kill someone, so it's nice for multi-kills. Ghost makes you stay off the radar, and Amped will help you switch weapons faster and climb over walls faster. And if I'm using Specialist, which most of the time I am, I'm gonna use Scavenger as the first perk, then EOD, and then Double Time. For Search and Destroy, which I don't play anymore, I don't really like that mode, I just stopped playing it. But in case anyone is wondering, I use EOD, Ghost, and Amped, and for Specialist, I use a different order. I use Double Time, Tune-Up, and Quick Fix. On all my respawn classes, I use the Psychov as my secondary. It's basically the best secondary in the game. For Search and Destroy, I would use Calistics for rush routes, since they have the fastest movement speed. Now, since oh yeah, I forgot. For equipment, I use either the Semtex or the Proximity Mine. Yes, I'm a beach. And then Stim for every single class. Nothing else, just Stim. Alright, now that we went through secondaries, perks, and equipment, I'm gonna get into some primary weapon class setups for some of my favorite guns in the game. So, first of all, we've got the M4A1 with M16 Grenadier Barrel, Commando Foregrip, 1500 mags, stipple grip tape, and no stock. No stock is the best attachment in the game pretty much. Movement speed, way faster. Aim walking movement speed, way faster. Hipfire, way better. This is such a great attachment to use. I slap it on every single gun. So that's for the M4. A is Val. We've got the VLK 200mm barrel, commando foregrip, 30-yard mag, stippled grip tape, and VLK Strelok stock. You can't use no stock on this gun, unfortunately. If you could, the recoil would be insane. So instead of no stock, I'm using a stock which helps you with recoil control, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. It's helpful for this gun. If you use commando foregrip and VLK Strelok stock, your recoil is very controllable. For the FAL, once again, yeah, I have every gun Obsidian. So many Obsidian weapons. For the FAL, once again, long barrel, commando foregrip, stippled grip tape, no stock, and tack laser. So once again, you can see similar attachments across all assault rifles. For the Ram 7, this is one of my favorite guns, if not my favorite gun in the game right now. It's very fun to use. I'm using the monolithic suppressor. Technically, this barrel would be better, but I don't know why. The suppressor just feels better for me. It honestly feels better to use the suppressor. I don't know why, but it does. So I use a monolithic suppressor, tack laser, commando foregrip, 50-yard mag, and stippled grip tape. Unfortunately, you can't use no stock on this gun, so we gotta leave it as that. Great gun, this is. Now we're gonna get into some SMGs. The Uzi. Once again, Obsidian. The Uzi is a great weapon for mobility, and its damage range is incredible. So I use the Carbine Pro FSS barrel, 41 AE rounds, stippled grip tape, no stock, and since I don't like the iron sights in this gun, I use GM Reflex optic. If you wouldn't be using this optic, you could use a Merc foregrip for even better recoil control. But yeah, this gun is the ultimate tryhard weapon. It has great mobility, damage range, all you need, baby. Now the MP7, once again, another great SMG. I'm using the monolithic suppressor, FSS recon barrel, tack laser, no stock, and 50-yard mags. This is basically a mobility setup for the MP7, but if you want a class with non-existent recoil, do this. Take off no stock, use the commando foregrip, take off tack laser, put on stippled grip tape, and this is basically a non-existent recoil class setup for the MP7. And it has no recoil at all. It's great for Warzone as well. Alright, now P90. We've got the monolithic suppressor, forge tack. I can't even say that word. But it's basically the long barrel for this weapon. Tack laser, fly strap stock. It's a unique stock for this gun. Sprint to fire speed and aim walking steadiness. Great pros. And we've got stippled grip tape once again. This barrel basically turns this gun into an assault rifle. Great damage range, but mobility is a bit slower. If you want faster mobility, just use this barrel instead. Not a big deal. MP5. Ever since the MP5 got nerfed, I use a different class now. So, tack laser instead. Okay, so I'm using the monolithic integral suppressor barrel, Merc foregrip, 45 round mags, tack laser, and the F-tack collapsible, which is the same thing as no stock. Exactly the same thing, just a different name. This good gun. I don't really like it that much anymore ever since it got nerfed, but still one of the best SMGs. We have the Striker 45. Pretty average SMG, but I like to use it. It has nice range and it feels nice. We've got the monolithic suppressor, 300mm poly barrel, tac laser, Mark IV grip, and 45 round mags. Unfortunately, can't use no stock on this gun. Big sad, big sad. For some reason I have a knife on this class. I should be using a Psycho. Like I said, Psycho on every respawn class. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all the weapons that I like to use. For kill streaks, if I use kill streaks instead of specialist, I use the Jet, support helo or chopper gunner, either one, and the gunship. And for field upgrades, either Dead Silence or Stone Power rounds, but mostly Dead Silence. And that's pretty much it. That's everything that you need to know. I've showed all my settings and class setups that I like to use. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to my beautiful voice, and I hoped this video helped you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Mwah.